We're back at Super Bowl Boulevard in the heart of Times Square. Tomorrow's big game, not the only thing creating buzz in America. Senator Rand Paul gearing up for a super battle with the White House, accusing it of hypocrisy over the so-called war on women's wages. I sat down with the senator a short time ago. One of the other topics of the State of the Union address the other night was the gender pay gap between men and women in America. We did a little research. A couple of people sent us some emails and told us you better check into the White House. Apparently, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the White House has its own gender pay gap, does it not?
Yeah, apparently, if you work at the White House and you're a man, you get paid better than the women. So they better start out with their own. They've got apparently some kind of White House war on women going on over there, and they need to check out their own household income before they start looking elsewhere.
In fact, it's almost a bit hypocritical. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's 87 cents on the dollar that women get paid versus men in the White House.
Yeah, I think people don't like to see hypocrisy. The Democrats have been coming up with this and saying one party doesn't like women and they do. But apparently when it comes to them making the decisions, they think they ought to pay women less in the White House. So, yeah, I think hypocrisy is a real problem for them. All
right. Senator, also during the State of the Union, we saw Vice President Joe Biden behind the president. The following morning, yesterday morning, he hit the talk show circuits and he talked about his thoughts for 2016. Can we roll a little soundbite of that?
In my heart, I'm confident that I could make a good president. It's a very different decision to decide whether or not to run for president. And there's plenty of time to do that. I've not made a decision to run. I've not made a decision not to run.
All right, aside from your opinion on whether he should or should not run in 2016, let's talk about the next 3 years. Should he step up and have more of a presence in the White House for the next 3 years?
Well, the interesting thing is that he actually has better rapport and more of an ability to come to Congress. And we understand they keep him on a short leash up there because they're afraid he'll upstage the president. But he actually, when he has come to Congress, has been and had probably a better ability than the president to actually get along and try to seek compromise. And that's what we need. We need more conversation. So actually, rather than creating some commission and shuffling the vice president off to some third world country, they probably ought to send him to Capitol Hill and let him talk to us.
All right, well, not a bad idea. Let's talk about 2016 now. He said he wasn't sure if he was going to run or not, but he thought he would be, in fact, make a good president. Your thoughts on running, going against Joe Biden?
Well, it sounds like he's got one vote. He's convinced himself that he would be a good president, but I don't know. There's probably some skepticism among others about that. I think he's a nice guy, but only time would tell, whether he has anything new to offer. I mean, his administration has presided over 20 million people being without work, a really languishing economy, lots of people losing their health insurance. So I would say he's got a lot of explaining to do if he would seek the presidency.
Sure. Also, Hillary Clinton this week, I believe she told someone that she hasn't driven a car in nearly 2 decades, almost 20 years. Your thoughts on a potential president, or at least someone who wants to be president, who hasn't gotten behind the wheel of a car in 20 years?
I think you're going to have a little bit of trouble relating to America's middle class if you've been riding around in a limousine for 20 years. So when I hop in my GMC truck and ride to the grocery store and buy my own groceries or scan them myself, I think there's a little more connection with everyday America than someone riding around in a limousine.
Okay, so let's bring it back to the State of the Union and what's going on since the State of the Union. The president has been out selling the things that he talked about during the State of the Union. First of all, any surprises from the State of the Union? Did you hear anything that you weren't expecting to hear?
The one thing that troubles me about it is I think he misunderstands where jobs are created and how they're created. He mentioned oil and gas and that we're becoming more independent of foreign oil. That's really despite his policy, because most of the drilling has been occurring on private land, right, and he's not been very good allowing drilling on public land. He's been opposed to the Keystone Pipeline. But more importantly, if you listen to him carefully, he wants to raise taxes on the oil and gas industry, which is about the only industry in our country that's creating millions of jobs right now. We need to do the opposite. I would lower taxes on the oil and gas industry so they'll create more jobs, not raise taxes.
All right. I think he said he wanted to raise about $4 billion in taxes to the oil industry. Before I lose you here, sir, I just wanted to ask you a couple quick questions. Super Bowl predictions. Who do you like? Do you like Seattle or do you like Denver?
Well, as you know, I like someone who will speak their mind and that doesn't mince their words. So I got to go with Richard Sherman and the Seahawks.
Very good, number 25. And I'm going to set up my next question by playing this soundbite first from Hannity the other night. Take a listen.
Both of you have had an intramural struggle with prominent Republicans. You invited Governor Chris Christie to a beer summit.
Oh, no. We're all one big happy family now.
Is that right? It's all over?
It's all under the bridge. I mean,
it's all under the bridge?
We have all got, we're all getting together now.
No pun intended?
We are all getting together now. We're going to be a big happy party out of it.
So very smooth, sir. Under the bridge. I get the joke there. Okay, so back to the Super Bowl prediction. So Super Bowl Sunday's happening just a few hours from here, right across the river. You expecting any bad traffic in New Jersey?
My hope is that everything goes very smoothly, everybody gets safely in and out, and I'm not going there, Eric.
All right, under the bridge. Senator Rand Paul, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.